So it looks like Microsoft might be outsourcing Halo more and more, which would explain in part the massive amount of layoffs they had at Halo Studios, was it a week or two ago? And I have to wonder if this isn't going to be the new normal going forward. The weird thing is that this is Microsoft, this is Xbox, and they don't even trust their own people, I don't think, to make a good Halo game. Oh my gosh, guys, who could have foreseen this coming after the disaster of Infinite and now the disaster of Campaign Evolved? I think Microsoft might have the right idea. It might be time to let somebody else take a stab at Halo. And this might be the new normal going forward. This is how you, again, use an excuse to get rid of employees that you know you need to get rid of, but you don't want to get rid of them because you don't want to cause a problem. You just say, hey, we're taking things in a different direction. We're going to be relying on outsourcing. We're going to be relying on AI. And really, it's about getting rid of people, finding a reason to get rid of them to course correct a franchise that really should be a consistent bestseller. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. We're going to talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Geeky sitting this video out, but she is here in spirit if you want to check out her Kickstarter, Geeky Sparkles, Retro Halloween Revenge, glowing enamel pins. She's bringing her pins back from last year, the glow-in-the-dark ones, and we have a new neon pin, so thank you very much for that. Let's get right into it here. This is coming from WCCF Tech. Halo Studios reportedly outsourced Campaign Evolved to 15 studios. Microsoft is weighing involvement of Activision Sledgehammer Games in the process. That's a long headline. Twisted Voxel says the development of future Halo games will heavily rely on outsourcing, it's claimed. We'll go out to that one after this one here. Said a new report from insider Rebs Gaming claims that Halo Studios is increasingly relying on outsourced development for its future projects, following heavy use of external studios on the recently launched Halo Campaign Evolved. Now, this is a point of contention because there were a lot of layoffs at Halo Studios. They tried to say it was all contractors. It's not all contractors. There were people that were actually laid off that had been with the company for like 6 or 7 years. So it's not just contractors they're getting rid of. They tried to spin it that way, like everything's fine here, but I don't think things are fine in Halo land at Microsoft. I don't think things are fine at Microsoft, just, full stop. It said there's a canceled multiplayer game codenamed Project Eker. According to the report, the strategy ties back to comments from Halo Studios head Pierre Hintze, who developers reportedly said intended to outsource as much development as possible. He was also recently the subject of claims of mismanagement and harassment. I do vaguely remember that. Rebs Gaming says the credits for Halo Campaign Evolved confirmed that all areas of development were outsourced across 15 different studios, and they still couldn't get it right. The game failed at launch. Nobody wanted this. The listed studios include Arrival, FX Chamber, Devoted, Digit, Keyword Studios, Sparksoft, Snowed In Studios, owned by Keywords, Skybox, Sprung Studios, Virtuos Sparks, owned by Virtuos, Ninja Theory, Turn 10 Studios, and Rare. Well, they own Rare, so, there we go. A separate studio, Abstraction, is also said to have contributed, though it's not directly credited. Abstraction's contract with Halo Studios was apparently terminated mid-development last year due to development issues, and the studio later left Virtuos to become independent. Again, Rebs Gaming says Abstraction's former employees are instead listed in the game's special thanks section. Some studios were seemingly responsible for major areas of development from start to finish. I would love to see a photo. I think they had a photo floating around of the guys who put the original Halo together, and there weren't that many of them. And that seems to be the way that AAA gaming has gone. This is why the video game industry is in the state it's in, partially, right now, is because we've gone from really good games done by a handful of people with a passion for gaming to bloated 500 people teams, and all of this to basically deconstruct a 30-year-old game. 25. Yeah, so it's like, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous the number of people that they needed to make a game that nobody wanted. that nobody asked for. And this is why everything's collapsing. This is why we're seeing all these layoffs, because it's just bloat and waste. Get these 6-person teams together again, 6 to 20 people, put a decent game out there. It doesn't have to have the best graphics. It just needs to play well. Meanwhile, I'm playing indie games that are absolutely killer that are made by like one guy. And I know I've talked about it before, but the Super Polygon Grand Prix Racing is as good as anything Sega has done in the last 20 years. And it's literally just one guy, right? It's like just Sega scoop this guy up, slap a Sega label on it, call it Virtual Racer 2. It's hard to say virtual. It's not virtual, it's Virtua. Virtua Racer 2. And there you go. According to Rebs Gaming, Halo Studios was simultaneously outsourcing another project, which had previously been described as the next Halo multiplayer title before its cancellation. Why go back to this? A source reportedly told Rebs Gaming Icar's development relied on outsourcing even more heavily than prior Halo titles. So now they're saying Activision. The report also revisits rumors that Activision could become involved in future Halo development. This idea originated last month when journalist Jez Corden said he heard Microsoft might have Activision develop Halo games. Okay, I want to stop there too. How come these video game journalists, I'm using finger quotes here, can get tips and rumors from people, but then YouTubers, if we say it, we're liars? I don't understand. We're liars. We make it up. We don't have inside sources, but the people that blog do. The people that work for the corporate rag do, you know, and you don't think people come to us too? It's just, I'm just saying, I think this whole lie that there aren't, insiders coming to YouTubers or podcasters comes from these circles because they have to justify their existence. Remember last year when it was very clear a lot of video game journalists were going to lose their jobs, all of a sudden you start seeing all these articles coming up like, why games journalists are so necessary. We need games journalists. Don't fire me, bro. It's basically what it is. And then some of these people leave and they spend all this time attacking independent voices, YouTubers and podcasters and stuff. And then they go out and they do the same damn thing themselves. And then they shut up. They just pretend like they didn't spend years attacking people. I know there's one guy, he used to work for CBR. He was one of our biggest critics. He went out and started his own YouTube channel, and now he's just shut the hell up about YouTubers being awful because he has his own channel now. It's like, come on. Anyway, Rebs Gaming says a source who previously provided accurate information about Campaign Evolved has now claimed Microsoft is exploring a proposal involving Activision, including Sledgehammer Games, which does Call of Duty World War II and Call of Duty Vanguard, helping develop a Halo game. The same source reportedly said Activision began testing a prototype for Halo pitch in June, though it remained in an early blackout stage focused only on basic mechanics like player movement. Why don't they just get fans to make a Halo game? Probably be better. Again, 6 guys. 6 guys could put together a better Halo game than what these guys are doing. That prototype was said to have been canceled in early July. Rebs Gaming notes that canceling the prototype doesn't rule out future Activision involvement. Based on Campaign Evolved, Icar and the aforementioned Activision prototype concludes the majority of future Halo development will be outsourced. The insider frames this as potentially beneficial for the franchise. Yeah, because your own in-house people can't make a good Halo game anymore. They never really could, let's be honest. It was Bungie, old Bungie, not new Bungie, old Bungie that made the good Halo games. Since outsourcing can accelerate development timelines and expand the amount of content a team can produce, and also we can cut them loose when the game is done and they're not going to go get a big inflatable rat and stick it outside our HQ because they're contractors and they know the deal. However, he raises concerns about how well Halo Studios has managed its external partners so far. They said an example, cites social media comments from Halo co-creator Marcus Leto, who criticized the design of the Alpha Halo ring shown in the game's main menu as looking out of scale, lacking mystery, and appearing visually unappealing. Yeah, well, they don't give a shit about the guys who made the game. So it doesn't matter. We've seen recent examples of that, right? They can't even go to conventions. Rebs Gaming notes the same ring appears in game's final cutscene, etc., etc., etc. Anyway, it seems that Halo Studios is going to rely on external partners to develop new titles, which means they're going to get rid of Halo Studios proper. This is the way things are going now, though. These companies realize having people on staff producing games that may or may not get released is a waste of money. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to see more and more companies do this because, again, it also incentivizes the contractor to get shit done. We've had studios where people have been there for literally 5 years, 6 years, working, quote unquote, working on games, and they never got the games done. Then the studio got shut down and there was nothing to show for it. So in this case, it's like, hey, you're a contractor. We're going to give you a timeline. You're going to have deliverables to us by X month or whatever. You're not going to drag this thing out for 5 years. And if you choose to use AI, we can just blame you and say, oh, that was a contractor's decision, not ours. Just saying. Gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.